Hi guys! So today we're doing something different and interesting. I am here for a tarot reading with my friend Sabah. So the reason I thought this would be fun is because I think Sabah and me have known each other for years, and she knows that I'm a bit of a non-believer and a naysayer in these things, and she's the expert in this space. So I thought it would be interesting to see what comes out. What are your thoughts, Sabas?
I'm actually quite excited about this only because I enjoy a challenge. I like the idea of somebody skeptical coming into this because then it makes the whole process even more interesting. So I'm excited and I want to see what happens next.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. So now, before we begin, is there any questions you have for me about tarot, about crystals, about any part of the process? Because I sent you a write-up.
Who was giving me these answers is the question. Yeah. First question I have.
That's the best question. Okay. So the answers are coming through your own higher self. We all are a mind, a body, and a spirit. It's a complex of these three. Your oversoul or your higher self is what is giving you all this information, and you always have that inner guidance within you. But the problem is that we've all lost connection because we're always focused on the external, so we've lost that connection with ourselves. But you know that intuition that you get or that gut feeling before something goes wrong, or you can sometimes even when you drop the bottle, you can almost sense that something is coming.
You feel it for that second and then you're like...
Correct. So the more we hone that connection within ourselves, the more we start receiving guidance from within. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to access that. Sherry has experienced many things. That part of Sherry is going to come in through you right now at this point in time and give you the answers that you need.
Okay. So how do we start?
First, you just coming up in your own mind and asking yourself, what is the intention for doing this? What do you want out of this?
There are so many things, right? Like as we grow and like we start questioning things like religion, spirituality, or even just things that people say.
Yeah.
And sometimes there is no logic to it. There's no reason for it, and you still believe in it or you don't.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in that place, as you know, as in where I usually question things more than I believe them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to understand that, like that part
that
of
which
me,
is unknown.
that which is unknown, and maybe to see what comes out, because the questions I had are all in like gray areas of my life. Like I don't have a concrete answer for them.
Yeah.
So I want to see what comes out of that.
Okay, so that's your intention, to basically understand what is not familiar and what is not known to you.
Yeah.
Now that you put your intention across, that's the first thing. What you want out of this experience. You've put your intention there. We've cleansed your whole system.
Right.
So now, what I want you to do is take a few deep breaths. Inhale deeply and exhale very slowly through your mouth. So inhale deeply and exhale. Let's think of the first question that you have. What is topmost on your mind?
I think about whether I will have children or not, or if I'm in... I mean, it's something I always thought I would plan in my life and do. And as I've reached my 35th year this year, I was thinking a lot about it, because obviously I think now as you grow older, you start thinking, my plan was always to have kids with a plan, and I don't have a plan at this point. And there are many boxes in my head I want to tick before I have a kid. So yeah, what does the universe have to say about that?
Ask that question in different ways. You don't even need to close your eyes. Just think of it. And as soon as you think of it, you feel like something inside you is telling me, okay, stop now. Just tell me and I'll stop.
Stop.
Okay, what would you like me to do with this deck?
Divide it.
Into?
Half.
Does that look about right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have 2 decks. What would you like to do with those 2 decks?
I'd like to divide this one further.
Okay. How does this layout look to you? That are slightly more complicated. This will give you a little bit more depth.
So let's do this one.
Yeah, you feel
Yeah.
called to this?
Yeah. Because I feel like it's a heavy question and
is.
it's also complicated
layers
because
to
there
it.
are layers to it as
The first card that you pick is
adventure.
and it's got a kid in the picture.
Okay, that is freaky.
Yeah, right? Okay. So and having a child in a sense is an adventure.
Right. Yeah, it's a different chapter of your life.
It's a different chapter. And it's an adventure because you can't quite predict. Everything is spontaneous.
Right.
Everything is in the moment, and you can't prepare yourself for it. So, like when you said that I planned this and I planned that, nothing in life is ever planned, and all our plans always.
So it will probably be unplanned.
It will always be unplanned because it's going to be an adventure, and you can't plan an adventure.
It's quite strange, but this baby looks a lot like me when I was a baby. Like I had curly hair, like
Was it short?
Yeah, like ringlets, and as in build wise, like as in it almost looks like a painting of myself as a kid, which is a bit freaky. I mean, it's almost like I'm like this
and
is.
You see how many times we divided the
deck.
What are the chances that you'd pull up something with a child? I don't think there are any other cards that have a child in them. So
and the child that looks like me.
Exactly, that is a bit freaky, right? Kid is telling you that forget about planning.
Planning the kid, just have it
forget
whenever.
About ticking your boxes. Right. I think it's pretty cool that the actual child showed up.
Yeah, the baby Sherry showed up.
That's really bizarre. And we connected with the inner child to start with as well. So it was. Yeah. So now we're on to card 2, which is your internal influence that you're unable to see.
Okay.
This is number 2.
Laziness.
Number 2. Right.
Like I feel like I need the perfect scenario to have a kid, which obviously doesn't exist in life, right? For anyone. Yeah. And as I said, when you keep saying ticking boxes, everything will never be ticked, right? So I mean, I guess at some point you have to kind of accept that these few things are not going to happen, and you still either want to have the kid or not have the kid or whatever. I guess which is where I see the laziness, because I haven't really ever done
anything to have a child.
No, as in I don't want the child at this point anyways. Yeah. As in but I'm just even in the future, I've not planned for it in that manner to say to tick my boxes. How would I want to tick my boxes?
So you've been lazy about that.
I've not really thought that, okay, 40 is my deadline, and how do I make it happen? That's not happening.
Yeah, if I'm working backward from 40, I need to start doing this now.
None of that is happening. It's just I'll have it. I'll have it.
I know what this is saying. Do you know what this is saying? I think it's saying that you're saying that you want to have children, but like you said, you've not bothered to even work towards ticking any of the boxes. So you're being lazy about it, and that's the internal influence that you're unable to see. Now is the external influence, which you are already aware of. Past lives. Very interesting. We are getting deeper. The hands of existence form the shape of the female genitals, the opening of the cosmic mother. The 2 rainbow lizards on either side represent knowing and not knowing. They are the guardians of the unconscious, making sure...
Lizards are very interesting because Weber was really scared of lizards. So I'm thinking possibly there's a connection because he also has to make this baby.
Exactly. He's a part of this. The fact that you brought up Weber when this reminded you of Weber is a reminder that it takes 2 to make a child happen. And this is an external influence, so it's outside of who you are, which is Weber. He's the external influence. And it is an influence that you're aware of. I mean, you might not have been consciously thinking about Weber being a part of the process, but he's clearly
he has to be part of the process, right?
Yeah. So now Weber's come into the picture. You're on an adventure. You've realized that you've been lazy about ticking your boxes. You've forgotten about Weber completely. So now he's back in. Now is what you need. What is needed for your resolution towards this issue of having a child?
The top card.
A flowering.
I don't know, it just seems weird, right? When we use the term deflower. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of.
I mean, just look at her.
And she seems very fertile and
Exactly. what does it mean when you're flowering? You're blooming, and that's kind of motherhood, isn't it, in a
Right.
sense? Yeah, so it says the queen of rainbows is like a fantastic plant that has reached the apex of its flowering and its colors. She is very sexual, very alive, and full of possibilities.
That just is like pretty much hit the nail on the head.
And it's also telling you that in your careers, you've reached the apex of your flowering. You're ready.
Right.
You're sexual. You're
You're
alive.
ripe.
You're ripe. Absolutely. What are you feeling?
It's definitely going in a sequence of like answering
The
questions.
pattern
The
builds
pattern is
upon each
answering the questions, and it's quite alarming how each card has that relevance in, you know what I mean? Like even this one is kind of very in that whole fertile department of flowering and seeds, and like
you picked up on that.
Yeah, so I mean it just feels like
Full of possibilities, sexual. Okay, so the next one in our layout is the fifth one.
Okay.
Your understanding.
Oh my god, this is just really creepy. Like, why is it doing this? I mean, it's weird, but it's just like really like.
And there are some very difficult cards normally.
On point.
I mean, like as in, death comes up, sorrow comes
Right.
up. So much could have come up. What are the chances that out of 70 odd cards that you'd pick?
And this is exactly what we spoke about, right? Like
Control.
growing with the flow, and not just like
your
like
issues
don't
with
control
control.
it. Yeah. So I'm definitely an upstream swimmer in like life, as you know, as in I'm a bit of a rebel, and I like to do things my way, or like not listen to people, and like if someone tells me go this way, I'll go this way, just to do it. So that definitely came out at me, and also just this go with the flow bit, because I'm always like thinking, plotting, planning. I'm not like a whatever's gonna happen will happen. Yeah, I mean I do always say everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But
do you trust that? Will you allow for it?
Will like what is that reason or whatever? But in the sense of I don't like just let it happen. Like I will always think of 10 other things.
So this is your resolution towards this. For example, this is your whole pattern. This is what is building upon. It starts here. Yeah. The issue, which is about kids. So that's the issue right there.
That's baby Sherry right there. This is influenza Sherry.
Yes, exactly. Your internal influence.
Okay.
Your external influence, which is web of lizards. This is what it's telling you.
That you're ripe and ready.
You're ripe and ready.
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
Okay, that is twisted. Stop it. Okay. Should we go to the next question?
Let's do it. And what's on your mind?
So I feel like I got into content creation accidentally. I never thought of it, never planned it.
That's how the best things happen.
And now, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I'm just like, but I love doing it, and I feel like I would love to keep doing it. So I just want to know what the thought process is on that.
So what does the future have to say about your career? Okay, sorry.
Divide it.
Stop here?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Divide it. Divide it again.
This one or that
This one. And take the middle one of this. Control again. Feels like a very regal, royal, powerful, controlling figure, which I see myself as the queen.
I love that. There is a time and place for control. But if we put it in charge of our lives, we end up totally rigid.
So, I mean, first thing is rigid. I'm very rigid when it comes to my work. Like, I'm very like, this is my way of doing things, and it has to be this way, or my way or the highway, or like, that control and rigidity is very strong when it comes to my work.
You deep down know that nothing can be controlled, and that's a fear.
I mean, I'm getting that I'm rigid, I'm controlling, all of those things which are true.
Yeah.
When it comes to my job.
Yeah.
But I can't see deeper. Like, I don't know beyond. You know what I mean?
Wait, let me tell you. There's a certain type of rigidity that you have because you feel so passionately about what you do, and that you build these walls around yourself. For you to move out of this, or for you to go beyond this apex that you've reached currently, you will have to let go of control.
So I do feel that, like,
Yeah.
as in I agree with that, where I feel like I've done everything I could do to
By yourself.
by myself,
It's time to
and
move on.
now I need more to
Yes.
kind of like make things bigger.
Yes. I want you to think about your last question.
Okay. So my last question is basically in relation to Mars and dogs. I feel like I've always felt a deep connection with dogs since I was a child. I've been very fond of dogs, but with Mars, it's very different. Like he's, I mean, like the connection is much stronger and much deeper than any of my other pets. So I feel like I want to, like, just know why he came into my life, or if there's a reason for that, or if it's
There
just love.
That's a huge part of it. But I want you to picture Mars's face right
Okay.
now. And I want you to think of everything that he makes you feel, all the emotion that he evokes in you.
The last card.
All right then. Anything jump out at you about the image?
I mean, I think from a mental health perspective, I would say obviously the last year has obviously been a trigger for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Because we've been like locked in and whatever. And I always say that Mars kind of saved me with this whole pandemic and the lockdown, and that I would have lost my mind if it wasn't for him, or just,
So, like you said, the last 1 year, for everybody who has pets, in fact, for that matter, even if it's not a dog and it's a cat, it just makes life much, much more bearable.
Yeah.
Especially the tough times. So the person on this card brings a new twist to the old idea of being stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that sounds like the pandemic. Being stuck at home.
Yeah.
Any mental stuff that came up in the last year?
I mean, I guess
Mentally?
just usual, I guess trauma that we all faced. I think basis like loneliness, or like, me, I'm like a very social being in life.
Yeah.
Like I see people, or like I'm always out working or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that obviously was a big, like, oh wow, there's like
Challenge.
nothing, no
Yeah.
one. So I mean, without him, I feel like that whole angle would have completely wiped me out, because I was talking to him, or I had him for company.
Yeah. Oh, talking to
24/7.
him. I love that. You can't work your way out of this one by solving it, by making a list of pros, cons, working it out in your mind. Better to follow your heart, and if you can find it, just jump. And your heart will start beating so fast that there'll be no mistake about where it is. I mean, based on what I read and what I'm feeling as well, I think Mars came into your life to be able to help you through this time. And I think this time had a lot more to do with not just loneliness, not just being pandemic, not just being a lockdown, just being an emotional anchor for you. Exactly.
That's what I feel. I keep saying that it's really weird because it's different to any of my other pets.
Yeah.
And it's a stronger, like, as in connection also. I mean, like, and I know a lot of people who don't have pets don't get it, or don't think that, they're like, everybody thinks that way about their dog or cat.
Yeah.
And I've had dogs my whole life. Like, I was pretty much born in a house with dogs. So, I've always loved them all. I've always done the same things for them.
Yeah.
But with this guy, it's just like there's something different about it.
Yeah. So I think a mental anchor, an emotional anchor, and at the end of a day, our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions create our reality.
Right.
Based on what we think and feel, that's what creates our reality.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he came into your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been deep. It's been, I think, I mean, I'm not as skeptical as I was coming into it. There are some things that have jumped at me, like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, at least it makes you think. Like, as in, I feel like at some level, it definitely has made me like think, or a lot of the thoughts that I had has kind of reaffirmed those thoughts.
That's what happens.
So yeah, thank you, Sabahs, for this.
Anytime, Sarah.
Also, I will be putting Sabah's details in the description. So anyone who's interested in getting a session with her, or has any questions, you can reach out to her and do this. I feel like as someone who's, not really open to things like this, I still feel like, I don't know, weirdly, I felt a connection.
In fact, after you sleep, messages come to you in your
In your
dream
dreams.
state. They come to you when you're having a bath. It's when you're doing nothing of significance, when
That
you're
it
like
pops.
washing dishes.
Right.
Like that's when, that's when it'll come to you, further insights. There'll be inner understandings that you will get,
Right.
because the cards will keep speaking to you in a way that you will get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Thank you so much for doing this, Sabah.
Tell me if you see any lizards.
And thank you to everyone who's watched this. I hope you found this interesting. This was something different. I've never tried this in my life. I could only do it because it was Sabah, and I will put her details in the description. So yeah, get in touch with her. Thank you. Bye.